All right, hey people. I was watching the record stream earlier, the VOD of the earlier stream, and for some reason the voices aren't being captured by OBS, so it was kind of weird. Let me try something. I think it's being captured this time around. I don't know what happened earlier. The way the voices weren't being captured earlier. Let me try that again. Alright, let's hope this works, because I went 5 hours with like none of the characters' voices were being captured. That's a real pain in the ass, not gonna lie. Jesus Christ. Agea jumped at the chance unexpectedly, eagerly. Kotori, still a little nervous, replied, "Alright, then. From today onwards, this is where we'll all be staying." And that's how it went. After a late dinner, Agea called her home. She asked Hotaru, who had been taken home already by An-chan, to pass the message. She probably would have been scolded if she told them directly. Normally, it wouldn't be a problem for her to stay at our dormitory, but it was kind of out of the blue. Bro, Kanako has more screen time than whoever the fuck is the twins. With that, Kanako-san appeared. How many times have I asked you not to wander around dressed like that? Well then, you guys go first. I'll go in there last. Oh yes, take care of Kotori. There's nothing to be shy about. You're always saying how you love to soak in the bathtub. Seeing how Kotori was embarrassed, Agea didn't ask what this was all about any further. She just pushed Kotori's wheelchair along like it was no big deal. Kotori twitched in surprise when Agea dressed her like this. Fucking soon, man. Unable to read the situation, Amane-senpai unintentionally played the straight man. Amane-senpai staggered back, as if she got poked hard in the forehead. I feel that she's becoming more and more impolite towards Amane-senpai lately. In this case, it probably can't be helped though. Shogunai. Agea asked to make sure with an expression filled with anticipation. The girls followed each other into the bathroom. As I saw them up, I muttered in my mind, "Way to go, Kotori." I kind of felt like a parent watching over his child growing up. Oh shit. Brain blanked off. Fuck! 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 My brain. Sorry, I froze in place. I forgot to activate the shit. Well, whatever. I mean, there could be worse things, man. There could be worse things.
どうした小鳥？もっとこっちへ来たらどうだ？
How many mentions? What's up, Katori? When did you come over here?
シャワーだけでいいって言ったのに。
Katori, I said I only needed a shower.
いいじゃん。一緒に湯船に浸かりたかったんだもん。
Agya. Huh. Come on. I wanted us to take a bath together.
女同士、裸と裸の付き合いでさ。
Agya. Girls only, enjoying some skinship.
そりゃあなたたちはそんなでかいからいいでしょうけど。
Katori, it's just that you two are so huge. You have it good.
でっかい？
I'm
何のことだ？
huge. What do you mean?
そのお湯にプカプカ浮いてるやつよ。
Katori.
あまねちゃんってすごく食べるのにスタイルいいのね。
Alright, Katori mentions those. If you know what if you know exactly what I'm looking at. Floating in the water like that. Honest-chan, you eat so much, but you're still in such a good shape.
カロリーは主に脳とおっぱいで消費されてるに違いないわね。
Agya mentions most of the calories go to her brain and her boobs. No doubt about it.
そういうアゲハも何をみんなして。
Katori mentions, Agya, you're the same. What is it with everyone? This is your typical fan service scene, man.
お肌もツルツルで綺麗だし。
Agya, huh? You look nice too, Kotori. Your skin is so smooth and pretty.
そうかな。
Kotori, really?
ところであまね先輩、聞いてもいいですか？
Agya, by the way, Amane-senpai, can I ask you something?
なんだ？
What is it?
先輩って彼氏とかいないんですか？
Do you have a boyfriend?
彼氏？
A boyfriend?
そう、彼氏。
Yes, a boyfriend. Kotori's just like ...
いないな。
No, Amane mentions.
嘘。先輩美人だし、スタイルいいし、モテモテでしょ？
No way. You're so beautiful and have such a nice figure. You must be popular, right?
そうなのか？ガレージから外に出ることはめったにないから。
Really? I rarely leave the garage, so I don't really know.
今日来てたハンちゃんさんじゃないの？
Aren't you with that guy who came today? An-chan-san?
私もそれ思った。
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
あまね先輩とあんちゃんってどういう関係なんですか？
What exactly is your relationship with An-chan?
達也とは同じソアリング部の仲間だったんだ。彼氏というのとは違うと思うぞ。
Tatsuya and I were in the soaring club together. I don't think of him as my boyfriend though.
にしては再会した時意味深な雰囲気だったわよね。
Even so, when you met again there, sure was a meaningful air between you.
思った美男美女ですっごくお似合いだったし。
I thought so too. A handsome man and a pretty girl like you two really suit each other. Man, these two are, Kotori and Ageha are like boxing out fucking Amane from you know their plan.
私と達也はお似合いなのか。考えたこともなかったな。
Tatsuya and I suit each other. I'd never thought about that.
じゃあ小鳥は葵くんのことが好きなのか？
Then, Kotori, do you like Aoi-kun?
なんでそうなるの？今あまねちゃんの話してるんじゃ。
Huh? What's this all of a sudden? Now we're talking about you,
お
Amane-chan.
うろたえてる。これは怪しいぞ。
Oh, you're getting all flustered. That's suspicious.
違うってそんなんじゃないの。
No, you're wrong. That's not it at all.
なんだ違うのか。私は小鳥と葵くんの方がお似合いだと思うんだがな。
What? Really? I think that you and Aoi-kun are a better match.
そうかな。あ、まんざらでもないって顔になった。
Oh, you don't seem as annoyed as I thought you'd be.
違うって、あまねちゃんが変なこと言うから。
No, you're wrong. It's because Amane-chan said such weird stuff. Oh, fucking new thing.
だいたい葵くんはアゲハのことが好きなんでしょ。
Besides, Aoi-kun likes you. Doesn't he, Ageha?
はい、なんでそうなるの。そりゃ幼なじみだし仲いいけど。
Huh? Why do you think that? Sure, we get along as childhood friends, but...
聞いたもん。昔葵くんがアゲハに告白して振られたって。
I heard about it. That in the past, Aoi-kun had confessed to you, and you dumped him.
ほほ
Oh,
なんで知ってんの。まさか葵のやつそんなことまで。
how do you know about that? There's no way Aoi would tell something like,
あの軽薄な感じの男子が言ってたわ。
it's what that shallow guy was saying.
魔法か。あのバカ、今度ぶん殴っておこう。
Mabu, that moron. I'll kick his ass next time.
本当だったんだ。
So it was true.
ああ、違う。あれはと子供の頃の話で、全然そういうんじゃないから。
No. That was when we were just little kids. Not like that at all.
あらかじめ用意していたかのような言い訳。これは怪しいわ。
It sounds like an excuse prepared in advance. That's suspicious.
あの時、葵はもう引っ越すことが決まってて、それで急に寂しくなったんだと思う。
Huh. At that time, it had already been decided that Aoi was going to move. So I thought it was just because he suddenly felt lonely.
本当にそんなんじゃないの。
You think it wasn't like that?
振ったってことは、アゲハは葵くんのことが好きじゃなかったのか。
Did you turn him down because you didn't like him?
いや、それは。
Huh? No, it's just...
ああ、好きなんだ。アゲハは葵くんのことが好き。
You do like him. Yeah. Ageha likes Aoi-kun.
あんたは子供か。
Are you a little kid or what?
葵くんは今でもアゲハのことが好きなんだろうか。
I wonder if Aoi-kun still likes you.
いや、それはないんじゃないかな。友情は一応健在みたいですけど。
No, I don't think so. Our friendship is going really well though.
どっちかっていうと、私より小鳥。
But I'd say that he likes you more than me.
そんなわけないわ。だって好きなものを手にチョップしないはずだもん。
There's no way. If he liked me, he wouldn't chop me on the
だ
head.
からチョップされてないアゲハよ。
That's why he never chops you, Ageha.
その判断基準はどうだろう。
I don't think you can really base it on that.
じゃあ好きな人は特にいないのか。
So, there's no one in particular that he likes. Ooh.
どうして二人とも私を見るんだ。
Why are you both looking at me?
私が葵くんならあまねちゃんのこと好きになると思うな。
I think Aoi-kun probably likes you the most, Amane-chan.
私もそう思う。
I think so too. Question mark.
実は私ね、葵くんがあまねちゃんのことを遠くから見て一人で赤くなってるとこ何度か見たことあるの。
The truth is, when Aoi-kun was looking at you from afar, I've seen him blushing a few times.
あ、私もある。あと話してる時も赤くなってオロオロしたりデレデレしたりしてるよね。
I've seen that too. When you're talking with him, he also gets all nervous and blushes. He seemed completely love-struck.
してる。そうなのよ。
That's right, he certainly does.
ソアリング部入るのも最初からやけに積極的だったし、
Also, he was very proactive about joining the soaring club from the very beginning.
グライダーのこと大して知りもしなかったのよね。
Even though he didn't really know anything about gliders.
あまね先輩なら納得。
If it's Amane Senpai, then I concur.
納得ね。
I concur too.
納得か。
Concur? Question mark. Oh, PowerPoint slide transitions.
でっかいお風呂最高。はあ、気持ちよかった。私はちょっとのぼせちゃったかも。
The three girls, fresh out of bath, took a barley tea out of the fridge and poured it into glasses while enjoying the breeze from an electric fan. That was a really long bath. I could hear voices coming from inside. What were you talking about? In the hallway, I could hear laughter and shrieks and such coming from the bathroom from time to time. I couldn't catch exactly what they were saying, but it sounded like something exciting. My boy, you wouldn't know what it is.
ひみつねえ小鳥。そうよ、男子禁制。
When they put it like this, it made me anxious. What the hell were they talking about?
さてと、寝る準備をしましょうか。
Kodari pushed the squeaking wheelchair and Ageha followed after her.
それじゃあ、おやすみ。おやすみなさい。
Yeah, good night. I watched them leave and prepared myself for the bath. Amane-senpai, are you going to sleep too? I just finished getting your room ready. Amane had already laid the blueprints out on the dining hall table. She was looking at the plans with a glass of milk in one hand. It seemed that she didn't hear whatever I said, so I decided to go ahead and take a bath. Wow, already back to work.
皆様、長い間
Surprised
ご
how
迷惑をおか
productive
け
she
してお
is.
りましたが、
Actually, I don't know how productive she is because she keeps looking at the blueprints. I don't know how much she actually gets done reviewing and constantly looking at the blueprints. I don't even know what she's doing with the blueprints. What exactly she is redesigning or thinking about. It's kind of weird. Anyway.
私、姫木アゲハ、本日よりソアリング部に完全復帰いたします。
Slow round of applause echoed around the garage. You guys were so close. If you won 2 more matches, you could have gotten through the qualifiers.
いやー、それは高望みってもんでしょう。
Aga and her team lost in the third match in the district qualifiers of the robot contest that were held yesterday. If the team wins 4 times, they can enter the national championship. Saying that they were so close was a bit questionable, since they lost in the third match, but it was a really close fight, and the team that beat them won the district qualifiers in the end.
小鳥も応援に来てくれてありがとう。すごい悔しかった。
Since Ageha was in 2 clubs, the rest of us were also helping out the robotics club when we had time to spare. Oh, that was... They also helped carry the equipment on the day of the match and went to the contest hall. It was the first time I've been to a robot contest, but it was pretty interesting. The teams weren't there to just win. They also did their best to show off their robots, the crystallization of their ideas. Even if showing off like that could put them at a disadvantage in the match, they didn't cut any corners. When I saw that, I can understand why Age had become so engrossed in this.
それから天音先輩、お手伝いしてくださってありがとうございました。あれ、天音ちゃんも何かしたの？
Oh shit, wrong. Click.
私は別に何も。何度か見に来てくれて、設計の問題点を改善してくれたり、アイデアを提供してくれたりしたの。天音先輩、すっごいんだよ。やっぱ発想が違うっていうかさ。へえ、天音ちゃん、私らに隠れてそんなことしてたんだ。
I had no idea. When on earth did she do that?
私も何かできることはないかと思ったんだ。みんな天音先輩と一緒にものづくりができていい刺激になったって喜んでました。欲が出ちゃったみたいで、次は優勝するんだって気合入りまくりでしたよ。 それはよかった。
It's good that they want to win. You can't obtain victory if you don't aim for the top.
それからもう一つ重大な報告があります。
Agia spoke in a formal tone.
私、昨日をもってロボット部を退部してまいりました。本当なのか？実は前から決めてたんです。ロボット作りもいいけど今はグライダーの方が楽しいんで。というわけで今後はこっち一本で行きますのでよろしく。
Another round of applause resounded in the garage, louder than before, and accompanied with cheers.
ってことはいよいよ主力制作ラストスパートね。葵はパイロット訓練に戻ってちょうだい。
No, I can help too.
ダメダメ、主翼が完成したら速攻でテストフライトするんだから。それまでに操縦を完璧に覚えること。パイロット譲ってやったんだからビシッと決めてもらうわよ。
Alright. I had a role to fulfill. At long last, the first test flight was just around the corner. Damn, man.
ごめんください。はーい。どちら様？
Jesus Christ, Panaco.
こら、セクハラ女、来客にいちいち裸で対応するんじゃない。下着はつけてるよ。あなた、アゲハの妹ちゃんよね。はい、そうです。姫にホタルです。ハバネさんでしたよね。小鳥でいいわ。小鳥ちゃんとかで。はあ、小鳥ちゃん。小鳥さん、あーちゃんいますか？アゲハ、妹ちゃんが来てるわよ。おー、ホタル。
Wadari took Hotaru to the dining hall, where everyone was having breakfast.
あーちゃん、着替え持ってきたよ。サンキュー。お母さんどう？なんか言ってた？帰ってきたらお尻キックだって。仕方あるまい。
Hey, Hotaru.
おはよう、兄。
You want some breakfast?
いい。うちで食べてきたから。あまねちゃん、悪いんだけどハートに餌やっといて。ああ、任せろ。おいで、ハト。お前ご機嫌だな。ここはご飯が美味しいからな。
It's been a few days since we turned the dormitory into our training camp. Eating breakfast together became our daily routine. It's really lively, so it feels more like living together. Also, today we needed a especially solid breakfast. Unlike usual, today's work will be a test of our endurance.
外は快晴か。また一段と暑そうね。ねえ、妹ちゃん、どうだった？すごくいいお天気でした。もう日焼け止め塗っとかないとやばいかな。あ、そうだ。あんたも暇なら手伝ってよ。いいよ。私にできることならだけど。できる。誰でもできるけど人手がいるんだ。また翼を磨くの？今日はね、滑走路を作るのよ。滑走路作る？ここが滑走路だ。
We stared in complete bewilderment at the wide open empty lot, overgrown with lush grass.
ここ全部私たちで綺麗にする
Oh
の。
man, that's gonna be hard.
ああ、そうだ。覚悟してたこととはいえ、実際に見るとおじけづくわね。
We were on the verge of completing the main wings, so we were finally starting preparations for the test flight. Among those was preparing the runway. In the meadows that was stretched beside... Oh, wait. There was a wide, flat area without any slopes. When we heard runway, everyone imagined an airfield covered in asphalt or something like that.
やはり夏場は雑草の成長が早いな。
It was the first time I saw weeds overgrown to that extent. Since our glider was handmade, we'll be making the runway ourselves too. We had to tidy this place up. That's why we called for some help.
なんで俺がこんなことしなきゃなんねえんだよ。
そんなこと言っていいんだ。エリちゃんにあんたの恥ずかしい秘密ばらすわよ。
汚ねえ、マジ汚ねえこの女。
あんたこそ余計なことベラベラ喋って、本当ならお尻キックかましてやるところよ。
やっぱこいつ中身は男だよ。
Ageha had persuaded Matsusugu to come with us.
さすがにきつそうだけど頑張るっきゃないか。
As a condition for preparing her meals throughout the summer holidays, we got Kanaka-san to come and help us.
私にできるかな。
We also brought along the unfortunate Hotaru, who came only to deliver a change of clothes for Ageha. And then there was Hato. Ducks eat weeds, so we didn't really need to force him. We just took him out for a walk. But isn't this private property?
ああ、そうだ。この広場の所有者はソアリング部の OB らしい。
In other words, this person was a member of the past soaring club from before Amane-senpai and the others revived it again.
定期的に草刈りをすることを条件に無償で貸してくださっている。
Wow!
それじゃ始めましょう。無駄口叩いてたら日が暮れちゃうわよ。
The command of our Vice President Fukubucho, Abane Kotari, the weeding commenced. Are they cutting the grass though? The dreadful heat made it all more difficult. There was nothing that would block the direct sunlight here. The wind blowing from the direction of the lake barely managed to cool us down a bit. It's hot. The towel wrapped around my head in the place of a hat was already drenched in sweat. Everyone, be careful not to get a heat stroke. It's said that you should drink water regularly. On a day as hot as today, it's best to drink something even before you start feeling thirsty.
もうダメ。ちょっとコンビニ行ってきていいか。
情けないな。男の子でしょ。
こちとらバイトとバンドと恋に夢中なもやしっこなんだ。
Are you alright?
平気よ。お尻が超ムレムレだけど。
Oh, it's a good image. We thought it might be impossible for the wheelchair-bound Kotori to do the weeding, but she wanted to do it nevertheless. I'm worried that she will overdo it without thinking of her health and end up collapsing. Here, have a sports ring.
Thank you.
What's wrong, Hotaru? Grasshopper jumped out of the grass she was about to cut. What? It's just a grasshopper. Hotaru hid behind me, scared. I caught the grasshopper and released it in an area we had finished cutting. Don't get caught by Hato, he'll eat you. Grasshopper are dogs' favorite food. Hanako-san was using a lawnmower that Ageha borrowed from a local farm. She was cutting down all the weeds that weren't much higher than ankle level. There was no problem as long as they weren't tall enough to get tangled around the wheels, so there was no need to pull them out from the roots.
ほら、ハット先輩、邪魔だよ。ミンチになっちゃうよ。カッカッ。
Thinking that the lawnmower was a living thing, Hato sometimes tried to mess around with it.
ねえ、葵くん、その子をどっか連れてっといて。
Will do.
わあ。
Carried Hato away. He didn't like it though, so he struggled all the way. Alright, here should be fine.
やあ、ハット。わあ。
Amane-senpai, could you take care of this troublemaker?
うん、いいぞ。
Even Amane-senpai, who usually secludes herself in the garage, was silently absorbed in weeding today. Reminds me, when you did the test flight the other day, you also took off from here, right?
そうだ。
How did you deal with the grass at that time?
私と顧問の山野辺先生とでやった。必要な部分だけだが。
Huh? The advisor?
うん、顧問だ。
Well, I guess the class usually have one of these, but I haven't even seen him once. Hey, Ageha,
何？
do you know Yamanobe sensei?
ああ、あの若い男の先生。頼りなくてひょろっとしてる？
Seems like he's our advisor. Wait a second. If they did the test flight during like school hours, that means they had help from their advisor. So, you know, what was that about then? About, I don't know, because if there was like someone from the faculty there, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't get it, man. Alright, sorry. I was distracted. Wait, let me check something really fast, quickly. If you knew about that, yes, I should have expected. When did he come to supervise our club activities?
前の顧問の先生が定年退職して去って、代わりに顧問になってやってくれたのが山野辺先生だ。先生は暗い間ついて仕事をしたり、お前に興味もないような。あの先生、事流れ主義だからね。富岡先生に頭上がらないし。
So the teacher has only helped with one test flight?
うん。山野辺先生は人手が足りない時だけ協力してくれるんだ。グライダーを飛ばすには一人では無理だからな。
What kind of person this Yamanobe sensei was? Well, he was probably in a difficult position. There's no doubt there would be no end to his worries. She probably didn't want to burden him with anything. I was thinking about this while working hard on the runway maintenance. I noticed that everyone was covered in dirt. It seems that today's bat will feel especially good. With that, the preparations for the flight proceeded steadily. Everything was a new experience to us, so even tackling tedious jobs felt refreshing. And then, one day in August... Oh, it's currently August. Holy shit. Finally. At last, the main wings were complete. Everyone looked at the two giant white wings with a feeling of joy. A lot has happened, but we still got this far.
やったね、小鳥。
Kotori looked like she could start crying any second, overcome with emotions. What are you getting all tearful for?
だって私こんなに頑張ってそれがちゃんと形になったのってもうずっとなかったから。
I knew how she felt. However, it's still too early, don't you think?
そうそう、そういうのは飛んでからにしようよ。そうね。
Kotori wiped her eyes with her arm and fired herself up again.
歪みもない。表面も限りなく滑らかだ。
Amane Senpai checked up both complete main wings with an uncharacteristically serious expression. Distortions of the wings inhibit the normal flow of air, reducing the lift. Also, unevenness and scratches on the surface, even those so fine that they cannot be seen by the naked eye, will increase friction and create drag.
いい翼だ。
With Amane Senpai's seal of approval, Ageha and Kotori high-five each other triumphantly. That doesn't sound like a fucking high five, it sounds like random ass clapping. I mean, something. Before we knew it, these two became a great duo.
これで飛べるのよね。あ、飛べる。
Tomorrow, we can finally do the test flight. Okay, stop. Early morning. Today, we were finally doing the test flight. To do that, we had to transport the glider to the runway. Put the glider on the special trailer and towed it by car.
ようやく完成したか。
Anchan, who drove into the school grounds in a lightweight truck from the workshop, whispered to himself when he saw the wings that had been loaded onto the trailer. By the way, we received permission for Anchan to bring his truck into the school grounds. This was the first time I'd seen his advisor, Yamanobe Sensei. As I had imagined, he seemed good-natured and diligent, but also quite timid.
できたよ、あーちゃん。
Ageha lifted her head and let us know that the trailer has been connected to the truck.
トレーラーの中で機体が擦れたりしないようちゃんとチェックしとけよ。
The glider has been separated into several parts and loaded onto the trailer. If they aren't firmly secured, they will scratch during transportation and they might get damaged.
ここちょっと緩いんじゃない？
Agea, fetch me a towel. I put the towel into the gap to act as a cushioning. That should do it.
よしじゃあ行くか。助手席はハバネさん、あとは荷台に乗り込め。お前ら手を貸してやってくれ。
Agea and I lifted up Kotori and put her down in the passenger seat.
私も後ろが良かったな。
Kotori grumbled a little. I kind of understood how she felt. Agea and I took her wheelchair and got onto the cargo bed of the truck.
準備はいいか？
オッケーだよ。
よーし出発だ。
They started the engine and the truck towed the trailer along. Oh man, I'm excited. Holy shit.
はーい、みんな。
When we arrive at the runway, Amane Senpai, who came here first to make preparations, waved her hand greeting us. Man, they really cut the grass, man. Anchan parked the truck next to the runway, and we jumped off the cargo bed.
あー、楽しかった。
I've always wanted to ride on the cargo bed of the truck.
いいな、二人とも。
We helped the dejected Kotori out of the passenger seat and onto the wheelchair. While we did that, Anchan disconnected the trailer from the truck.
達也、
よあまね。
すまないな。手伝ってもらって。
なーにいいってことよ。それに俺だって無関係じゃないだろ。何せ OB なんだからな。
そうだったな。
本当はこいつが飛ぶところを見ていきたいんだが。
Anchan, are you leaving? I was listening from a distance, but I couldn't resist butting in.
これから仕事なんだ。
あんちゃんにも見てほしかったな。
大丈夫だ。ここで飛べばうちの工場からも見える。
絶対見ててね。
ああ。だからしっかりやれよ。
Anchan gave us a refreshing smile. Then he drove away in his truck. As soon as Anchan left, we immediately began the assembly. The aircraft was still in pieces on the trailer. First, we put the fuselage on the ground. Then, we took out the two main wings. Kotori, keep an eye out and make sure it doesn't hit anything.
オッケー。
Akeha, Amane Senpai, and I lifted up one of the main wings and attached it to the fuselage.
風に気をつけてくれ。そよ風程度でも翼は揚力を発生させてしまうからな。
If a strong wind were to blow straight into this, the generated lift would be quite capable of sending us flying along with the wing. After attaching the main wings, next was the tail plane.
ゆっくりね。ゆっくりだよ。
We assembled it carefully, making sure not to scratch it.
おお。
Standing in front of the completed glider, we were all deeply moved.
こんな風になるんだ。
It's huge.
でも綺麗。
Until now, we didn't really get to see the full view of our very own aircraft. Compared to the regular planes that we were all familiar with, it looked kind of cool, looked kind of odd. In particular, the unusually long wings that we had completed yesterday looked quite unbalanced compared to the slightly short and stout fuselage. But were they really? Now that I knew that each and every part of this trait played a role in flying the air, it felt incredibly beautiful to me.
チェックを始めるぞ。
Amane Senpai, holding the printed out checklist in one hand, gave out instructions to everyone.
工具は揃っているか？全部あります。
Before we fly, we had to make sure that we had all the tools that we use for assembly. If there's anything missing, it's possible that it's somewhere inside the aircraft. In such an event, it could cause a serious accident.
車輪の空気、
Sufficient.
ピトー缶詰まってないか？大丈夫よ。それから
The checklist covered a lot of things. We checked the airframe for aberrations, damage, and such. We even examined the inside to see if bugs didn't make nests anywhere. At a glance, some of it might seem silly, but when we consider that we'll be flying through the air in this thing, we can't really say that. For example, if one of the meters gets blocked by a bug, it could affect the piloting and possibly even cause an accident. That's why we had to check these things before the flight. Also, by assembling the glider and doing all the checks ourselves, we were able to gain a deeper understanding of the machine. Amane Senpai said that she had made some revisions to the checklist that was made by the old members.
じゃあ次はポジティブコントロールチェックだ。
As she said that, Amane Senpai got into the
右エ
cockpit.
ルの
The rest of us standing outside went to the part that she called out. In this case, the right aileron, and held onto it, making it hard to move. Senpai moved the control stick to operate the aileron. At this time, if it moved with no resistance whatsoever, it's possible that the couplings between the control stick and the aileron had been severed. If this was a car, it would have been like the wheels not responding to the movement of the steering wheel. Needless to say, that would be extremely dangerous. These checks were also carried out on the rudder and elevator.
オールオッケーです。じゃあ今度は葵くんが後部座席に乗ってくれ。
Amane Senpai got out, and I sat in the back seat. Then we repeated the similar checks.
フラップ、タイムブレーキもバッチリよ。
Now that the assembly checks had been all completed, I got out of the cockpit. All members lined up for the briefing.
ああ、今日は風も穏やかで、テストフライトにはちょうどいい日だな。
She's so not used to this, man. Amane Senpai, who should have been explaining the important points, spoke with a gloomy expression that contradicted the subject.
だから怖がる必要はないぞ。きっとうまくいくからな。
Jesus, Amane Senpai.
怖がってるのあまねちゃんでしょ。
Kodari spoke quite tactlessly, and Amane Senpai froze up. Then, she started trembling.
風がないとグライダーは飛ばない。そういう意味じゃ今日はフライト日和とは言えないな。
Oh, he said something.
ちょっと小鳥どうすんのよ。いやどうって言われても。よーし今日は中止にしよう。組み立ての練習ができたんだからもういいよな。
Oh, seriously? She's chickening out? What the fuck, man?
こーら何言ってんの。ここまで来たら普通飛ぶでしょうが。いや君たちはまだ初心者だから知らないだろうが、グライダーのフライトには本来もっと荒れた日の方が。あまねちゃんがビビってるだけでしょ。だってそういう時は手のひらにひとって字をたくさん書いて飲み込めばいいのよ。やだそんな迷信信じないぞ。
Sorry. Oh, man. She said something rather childish.
大丈夫ですって。風が穏やかな方が安定して飛べるだろうし。
I'll be backing you up, too.
やだ
She said that she's scared.
しょうがないわね。アゲハ、葵くん。
At Kotori's signal, Aga and I firmly held Amane Senpai from both sides.
何をする。
It's over, Amane-chan.
すみません、天音先輩。
It's for your own good.
やめろ、離せ。
When we were restraining the struggling senpai, Kotori wrote the person kanji on the palm of her own hands a ridiculous number of times.
人。こんだけ書けば十分でしょう。
And Kotori took a run up. Hey, run up is a bit.
やだ、やめろ。ノーラ
Smack. Kotori made her swallow those person kanji. Rather, she slapped her in the face with all her strength. Oh my god! That looked almost like. This almost looked like pro wrestling, where 3 bad guys team up to torment the good guy.
これでどう？少しは怖くなくなったでしょ？腹が。
We had some fighting spirit slapped into her. Amane Senpai held her reddened nose.
ちょっと効きすぎたかしら。
Why did you slap her like that?
天音先輩の鼻が縮んで美人が台無しになったらどうすんの？
That was totally crazy. Senpai, are you alright?
平気だ。ありがとう、みんな。少しだけ勇気が出たよ。
Amane Senpai smiled faintly and walked toward the winch.
よし、成功ね。
What do you mean?
先輩は私のアイドルなんだからね。何を二人して。
Kotori chased after us as we went off ahead. In the corner of the runway, there was a huge thing that looks like a household power generator. That was the winch. A glider, which has no thrust of its own, cannot fly into the air by itself. There are a few different methods of taking off. Typically, a normal plane is used to tow the glider into the air, where it is then detached. It's called airplane towing. With this, you can reach a considerable altitude from the start. However, if you don't have such an expansive thing such as an airplane at hand, you have to use a different method. This is where this winch comes in. To explain it simply, it's a machine that reels in a rope using a giant motor. The glider is connected to the end of this rope, and when it's pulled with high speed, it can take off. It works just like launching a kite. The difference is that the glider is huge and quite heavy. Naturally, the winch has to be huge too.
最初はフルパワーで、機体が地面から約30度に達したら徐々にパワーを緩めていって。
Amane Senpai was teaching Kotori how to use the winch. She already explained this a few days ago, and we tried operating it before. So now it was just review. Our rules for today are: Amane Senpai and I are pilots. Kotori operates the winch. Ageha works as the ground control, supporting us during takeoff, landing, and such. By the way, this winch appears to be quite pricey. Not as expensive as the airplane, but still. It was used by the previous members of the Soaring Club, maintained since then, and will now be put into operation again. It's been in service for many years. To be honest, the equipment here goes way beyond the scope of high school club activities.
オッケー、わかったわ。
Yeah, which makes me wonder how they're able to fund everything. Especially remember the scene when they were talking about like buying parts for the buying the parts to make the wings. And then Amane Senpai was like, "Oh, it's no problem." Then it kind of made you think for a while that someone was supporting the club, but they never really touched on the topic ever since then. So it's kind of, they just forgot about that. Oh shit. Sorry, I got distracted that Low Light was having like a DJ event right now in Comic Cat. I really got distracted by Comic Cat. Okay. All right, let's go back to this.
それじゃ離陸準備に入ろう。
All right. We walked back from the winch towards the aircraft. It was about a kilometer away, so it took a while. Amane Senpai got into the front seat, with me following her and getting into the back seat.
シートベルトしっかり締めてね。
Agaya told me to do this. I checked the seatbelt a few times.
ペダルに足は届いているか？動かしにくい部分はないか？
Everything's okay. Oh shit. The canopy, the transparent lid that covers the cockpit got closed.
キャノピーがロックされているか確認してくれ。
Okay, I checked the lock. If it's not properly locked, there's a risk it might open during flight. Amane Senpai performed a final check on the flight controls. Outside the canopy, Ageha checked the rope extending from the winch and connected it to the glider.
先輩、レリースのチェックをお願いします。
Amane operated the reverse release lever, and the hook holding the rope was immediately released. If this fails to disconnect, it could cause a big accident, so it must be always carefully checked before the takeoff.
オーケーです。
Ageha gave a signal from outside and connected the towing rope once again. We suddenly felt a little more nervous. This aircraft will fly through the air. It still didn't feel real. To begin with, can an aircraft that we made ourselves really fly? It has no engine, it can't even flap its wings like a bird, so will it really be all right? I had the theory explained to me many times, but you won't get the real feeling from theory alone. If you want to get that, the only option is to fly. Finally, we can fly. Finally. Senpai?
大丈夫。怖くない、怖くない。みんなが作ってくれた翼は、私のなんかよりずっと優れている。だから大丈夫。
Yeah.
さっき小鳥が恐怖心を追い払ってくれたし。でも、いざとなったら頼んだぞ、葵くん。
Leave it to me. Makasete. Anyway, this is why I was training on the simulator until I got sick of it. I went over the takeoff procedure in my head. The most dangerous part of the flight was the landing. However, serious accidents can easily occur during the takeoff too. This time, I could rely on Amane Senpai, but to learn such a vast material, it was necessary to have the whole procedure in your head. Agea tapped the canopy from outside.
準備いい？
When Senpai and I replied, ready, Agea walked around to the side of the aircraft. You know, they should have had like some sort of radio, because when Agea tapped the window out, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Agea walked around to the side of the aircraft and lifted up the left wing that was touching the ground. The aircraft became level. The wings of the glider are really long, so it can't stand on its wings like a normal plane. That's why it's standing on one of the wings touching the ground. Therefore, during takeoff, someone has to run along, holding the wing up until it gains lift. Agea, who was holding up the wing, signaled Kotori, who was waiting far away, that launch preparations were complete.
行くぞ、葵くん。
Just as Amane Senpai whispered this, the aircraft suddenly got pulled forward. Pulled by the winch, the glider was quickly accelerating. The wheels jumped on the unpaved runway. Agea ran along while holding up the left wing. I turned to the side and our eyes met.
行ってこい！
A few seconds after it started gliding, I felt the aircraft rising, and we were pulled for only a few meters. As soon as it started gliding and accelerating,
上昇するぞ。
Amane-senpai pulled back the control stick. The aircraft raised its nose. I don't know what the exact angle was, but to me it felt extremely steep. Yo, my CGI. Yo, the CGI. Whoa! My whole body trembled from the G-force. I was hit in turns by the sensation of the aircraft gliding softly, and the feeling of being strongly pulled by the winch. I looked down through the canopy. However, at this angle, the main wings were blocking my field of vision. I could hardly see the ground at all. At what altitude are we now? When uncertainty of the situation made me feel a hint of fear,
抵抗策を切り離す
damn. I'm having goosebumps right now, I'm not gonna lie. Suddenly, the pulling force disappeared and the release aircraft started gliding gently. That's because it's been detached from the winch. We're flying! In that moment, the glider was no longer borrowing power from something else. It was flying all by itself. I never experienced this strange feeling of gliding before. The sound of the wind was awfully loud.
葵君抵抗策を確認してくれ
Seeing? Sitting in the backseat, I turned around and saw that the towing rope has been safely released. With a small parachute attached, it was slowly falling to the ground. Release confirmed.
よし離陸成功だ
The glider managed to take off into the sky without any problems.
飛んでるちゃんと空飛んでるよ
That was really far.
アゲハ見て見て飛んでるよ見てるよすごい私たちが作った翼が飛んでるへえああやって飛ぶんだやっぱり感慨深いものがあるわねあロープが降りてきた回収しとかなくちゃいいな葵くん
We're really flying. Listen.
下は見ない方がいいぞ怖いからな
You don't need to look down, Senpai. Please keep looking straight ahead.
ラジャ
I checked the ground in place of Senpai. We were about 300 meters above the ground. Oh, Agea recovered the towing rope. The towing rope, aka the one coming out from the winch, was attached to the bottom of the aircraft by a hook. The hook can be detached from the cockpit at any time, which is usually done just before the glider reaches the point above the winch. If the controls malfunction, the hook is designed to automatically detach when the glider passes the point directly above the winch and gets pulled back. Once the towing rope is released, a small parachute opens and it slowly falls down to the ground. If it's not detached, it can cause a serious accident, so we must always confirm that it has been released. From the back seat, I enjoyed the view from 300 meters above the ground. I can see the whole city. I could see the roof of the Flying Fish Manor, which was quite close to the runway. You could also see Agea's house, which looked tiny. Ah, there's the school. Amazing. We're really flying.
あんまり飛んでると言わないでくれないか意識してしまうじゃないか
Oops, sorry. I shut my mouth and enjoyed my first flight in silence. When I saw the flying glider from below, it seemed really relaxing, but when you actually try getting in, it really is relaxing. However, hearing the roar of the wind and feeling the air resistance with my whole body was something you couldn't experience in the simulator. Those were the forces that kept the glider, which had no thrust, in the air. Even though the aircraft moved down slowly, it didn't fall. They flew leisurely through the winds.
翼はすごいな。
Are they?
安定感が抜群にいい。本当に私が作ったものともまるで違う。
It's all thanks to those guys.
降りたらいっぱいハグしよう。旋回する。
He said and tilted the control stick to the right. The aircraft rapidly leaned to the right. Whoa! Senpai returned the control stick to its original position to correct the aircraft, which had banked too far, but she moved it too far and the glider banked to the left. Senpai, what are you doing?
何やってるのかしら。あれさあ、主翼のテストかな。にしてはなんかヤバげだね。もしもし、あまねちゃん。もしもし、あまねちゃん。
Receive a transmission from Kothori.
フラフラしてるけど大丈夫？大丈夫じゃないかも。
Senpai, please calm down. For a few moments, Senpai had been trying to level the aircraft, but she kept leaning it far too much to both sides over and over again.
セルロンが痛すぎて。
Hello.
葵くん、出番よ。
Okay, Senpai, I'm taking over. Senpai let go of the control stick. In her place, I took over the controls from the back seat. Two-seater gliders have the exact same controls in both the front and back seats. Just like it did in the simulation. Just like the simulations. I tried turning it using the control stick to control the ailerons and the elevator, as well as the pedals to control the rudder. I tilted the control stick to the right and the aircraft banked. After banking, you only need to return the control stick back to the middle. But then, it's necessary to move it in the opposite direction just a little. That was called counter steering, but I see.
どうしたの、葵くん。
The response of the aileron is too sensitive, but it's okay. This much shouldn't be a problem. Oh, pro pilot, holy shit. By too sensitive, I mean that when they moved the control stick just a little, the ailerons responded more than normally, which was causing the aircraft to lean too far. They weren't properly adjusted. If clumsy Amane Senpai was worse, or they used controls like this, it could have been a bit dangerous.
大丈夫かな。大丈夫よ。いざとなったら湖に飛び込めばなんとかなるわ。いや、ならないでしょそれ。
Wait, I don't think that's safe at all, man. I think crash landing is still scary, man.
地面に落ちるよりマシよ。
Well, true, but you know, crashing on the water still has some force, and it's still gonna hurt.
お、治ってきた。
It seems we're level again.
勝負なのか、葵くん。
Yeah, something like that won't be a problem. It was a little hard to maneuver, but I'll probably get used to it. Okay, I'll pilot it for a while. For now, I'll try flying once around the runway. I slowly turned the aircraft and made it circle around above Kotori and Ageha. From above, I could see them both waving. What the fuck? I wonder if Anchan is watching us too. I could just about make out the roof of Anchan's workshop from here. I turned a little more, and now we were above the lake. Shall we go to the other side of the lake?
今は気流が安定していて、上昇気流を見つけるのが難しそうだ。
We couldn't increase our altitude without getting on the ascending air currents. Even though we call it flying, in actuality, the glider continued descending slowly. If there are no updrafts, we will have to land sooner or later. But with these wings...
翼ならいけるかもしれない。
Okay, it's her talking. Roger that. If it looks bad, I'll turn back midway. Wow, that's CGI.
あれ、どこ行くんだろう。風車の丘に向かうみたい。届くかな。 そう。
The glider proceeded to fly across the lake. The altitude was gradually decreasing, but there was still some safe margin.
ケーキは私が見ているから。
Yes, please. I learned how to read the instruments in the simulator, but I still wasn't used to it. We just flew straight forward, and after a short time, the other side of the lake came into view. There, on the gentle slopes of the hill, the windmills were lined up. Today, the wind was quite weak, so they weren't turning that much.
なんだろうあれ。
Well, yes, we're finally back to the other cover girls. Holy shit, we forgot about them. Holy shit, how are they supposed to have a route?
どこ？ほら、あそこあそこ、こっち来るよ。飛行機かな。あ、本当だ。姉さんって昔から目がいいわよね。しかし、やけに低いところを飛んでるのね。
We saw you flying for the first time from over there, Amane-senpai.
あの時か。
That day, I came to this town. The day when everything began. Hotaru was waving her hand at the glider at that time. Did you see her?
それどころじゃなかった。あの日は気流がいい具合に荒れていて、生きた心地がしなかった。
Ah. While we were speaking, we crossed the lake and we are now above the windmills. Just like Senpai did on that day, I slowly turned above the hill. It felt really strange to look down at the giant windmills from above.
ゆっくり回ってる。変な飛行機だね。あれはグライダーじゃないかしら。グライダー？ええ、多分だけど。グライダー。すごくゆっくり飛ぶんだね。気持ちが良さそう。エンジンを積めばもっと早く飛べるのに。どうしてそうしないのかしら。
Wow, some people just want to glide.
葵くん、だいぶ高度が下がってきているぞ。
Roger, heading back. We couldn't stay here for too long. We had to return while we still have enough altitude to cross the lake. The moment we were turning back towards the runway on the other side of the lake, I saw people on top of the hill. There were two of them. Girls, I think. It seemed like they were looking up at us. This guy really had good eyes, man. His eyes are really good if he could spot something from this distance like this. They probably like gliders, just like Kotari. As I arbitrarily imagined that, I left the windmill hill behind me.
行っちゃったね。ふわふわしてて、なんだか頼りなかったわね。うん。でも、
What's her problem? Seriously, what's her problem?
飛んでるって感じがした。戻ってきたよ。だいぶ低くなってるわね。着陸するみたい。もしもし、葵、聞こえる？
Loud and clear. We're preparing to land.
了解。着陸するって。
Well then, I'll return the controls to you.
了解。
Senpai nodded nervously and grabbed the control stick. It said that most glider accidents happen during the landing. When descending from the flight and coming into the contact with the ground, even one mistake can easily cause some physical damage. The tricky thing about landing is that when you push the control stick forward to lower the altitude, the speed will increase. When the speed is too high, the impact for the landing will be significant. Also, there's a risk you won't be able to stop in time and pass the end of the runway and crash into something. That's why you need to lower the altitude while keeping the speed as low as possible. Hence, the main wings of the glider were equipped with several types of lift decreasing devices. In short, by reducing lift, the altitude can be decreased without gaining speed. Gliders tend to have a rather simple structure, but this type is equipped with several different devices used during the takeoff and landing.
降りてきた。いいよいいよ、そのまま。
That's CGI. Amane Senpai managed to not scratch the underside of the glider, even though at the moment of touchdown she pretty much dropped it to the ground. After landing, the glider covered several meters before the wheel of brakes stopped it.
おかえり。
When we opened the canopy, Ageha peeked inside. We made it. I unfastened the seatbelt and crawled out of the narrow cockpit. Senpai, are you alright?
大丈夫だ。
Senpai slowly unfastened her seatbelt as well. I got out first and gave Senpai a hand. Although a mere 10 minutes had passed, I strangely missed the feeling of a solid ground beneath my feet.
どうだった？
Kotori, who arrived a little after Ageha, rushed ahead and started firing questions at us. Well, how should I put it? It was awesome! It was absolutely the best. No other impressions came into my mind.
やっぱり。
How long were we flying for?
だいたい15分ってとこかな。
15 minutes is not so bad.
ねえねえ、風車の丘まで行ったの？
Yeah, just for a little while. I got a pretty good look at it.
いいな、いいな。
Oops.
お疲れ様です、天音先輩。
Ageha passed Senpai a bottle of mineral water. The cockpit was exposed to direct sunlight, and all that time was unbearably hot inside.
ありがとう。どうでしたか？視力の具合は。以前よりも全然滑空が滑らかでいい感じだった。よし。でも途中でフラフラしてましたよね。ああ、エルロンがピーキーすぎた。少し調整しないと。他には何か問題ありましたか？そうだな。
When Kotori and I were overwhelmed with excitement, Ageha and Amane Senpai were continuing their practical conversation beside us.
もう少し飛んでみないとわからないだ。今のところそのくらいかな。了解っす。じゃあすぐエルロンの調整だけしちゃいましょう。
Ageha enthusiastically went to get the tools.
何してるの？みんな手伝ってよ。今日中に飛べるだけ飛ぶんだから。
The testing had only just begun. We did a few more tests afterwards. The main objective for today was to test the freshly made main wings and check the repaired meter. That and my flight practice. Thanks to the work I'd put into the simulator, I was able to control it from the very beginning. I only realized this after flying the real thing, but Amane Senpai simulator gave a pretty realistic sense of flying. I have to say, that's what I expected of her. After we finished adjusting the ailerons, I practiced the takeoff and landing and was able to use the basic maneuvers. As we returned from the fifth flight, Ageha and Kotori came over to us.
お疲れ。
I opened the canopy and groaned. It's so hot!
ほい水。
It appears that when you are flying in the season, water is indispensable.
だいぶ慣れてきたんじゃない？
Yeah, my body got used to the cockpit.
さっきの旋回すごく綺麗だったわ。着陸もあまねちゃんよりスムーズだった。
Amane Senpai's not gonna make it, guys.
葵くんは上達が早いな。
Amane Senpai said it in such a way that it was hard to tell whether she was glad or sulking. It appears she had a complex about her clumsiness. I'm pretty tired. I'll take a little break. When I got back onto the ground, my legs were a little unsteady. Rather than feeling from fatigue itself, it was more because of being in the air for so long had messed up my sense of balance.
十分テストできたし、続きはお昼を食べた後でいいか。そうしますか。
After we proceeded with this conversation, Kotori
あのさ。
Kotori wants to experience the flight. I know it. She really wants to know the feeling of flight. Understandable, man. Amane Senpai looked at me. Wait a minute, I can't give her a ride. You're the one who has the license.
でももう君の方が上手だぞ。
That might be true when it comes to normal flying, but not all flights are trouble-free. If something happens, I might not be able to deal with it.
あまねちゃん操縦してよ。あんた正気？
Ageha responded reflexively, and Amane Senpai made a slight hurt expression. Well, when I was in the back seat, seeing Amane Senpai's piloting from up close, my heart was certainly beating dangerously fast.
いいの。命をかけるだけの価値はあると思うから。私たちで作った翼だもんね。
Kotori nodded deeply.
うん、わかった。じゃあランチの前にもう一度だけ飛ぼうか。
Atop her wheelchair, Kotori threw her arms into the air.
じゃあ私がウィンチ操作します。葵、小鳥を後ろに乗せるから手伝って。
Sure. Ageha and I picked up Kotori and put her in the back seat.
お尻大丈夫？緩くない？うん、ちょうどいい感じ。
What's wrong, senpai?
葵くんが助けてくれないと思うと不安で。ああ、気持ちはわかりますけど、後ろの人がもっと不安になるんで。平気よ。
When we continued the preparations, Ageha was waiting by the winch. When takeoff preparations were complete, I gave Ageha the signal to commence the launch.
ワクワク、ワクワク。
Wacka wacka.
ワクワク、ワクワク。
Amane Senpai's not gonna make it, guys. She's not gonna make it.
ワクワク。
The winch wasn't working. Hey, what's going on? Ageha was waving in our direction with both hands. Next moment, black smoke rose from the winch.
なんか煙出てる？
Well, so much for that.
本当だ。
I'll be back in a minute, just in case. Please, release the towing rope for now.
了解。
I confirmed that the senpai had released the towing rope, then ran over to the winch. What's wrong?
なんか壊れちゃったみたい。
Said Ageha, completely at a loss while looking at the black smoke rising up like a signal fire.
ダメだ。壊れてる。
It's over, guys. I think I want to call it in. It's 11:26, and I have a long day again tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy watching, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. Let me save first before I leave. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Ciao. Oh, just a little fun for in honor of being able to fly.
actually